Bayo took a deep breath and began walking through the dark, misty land of the realm of the shadows. Every step he took felt heavy, as if the ground was trying to pull him down. The air was cold and strange. Shadowy figures moved around him, whispering in voices he couldn't understand. Bayo clutched his flute tightly, knowing it was his only way out of this place. The night bird flew close by, its soft glow barely lightened the way. Bayo could feel the eyes of the shadows watching him, but he kept moving forward. He had to be brave. He had to find a way out. As he walked, the mist grew thicker, making it hard to see. Suddenly, Bayo heard a loud growl from the shadows. His heart punched in his chest. He stopped, trying to see where the sound was coming from. The growl grew louder, and out of the mist, a large shadowy creature appeared. It had glowing red eyes and sharp teeth. Bayo could feel its anger, its hunger. The creatures lunged at Bayo, but he quickly jumped out of the way. He knew he couldn't fight it with his hands. He had to use his flute. Bayo brought the flute to his lips and played a note. The sound echoed through the mist, making the creature stop in its track. But the creature wasn't defeated yet. It growled again, this time even louder, and charged at Bayo. Bayo played another note, this time louder and clearer. The creature hesitated, its red eyes narrowing. Bayo kept playing, pouring all his fear and hope into the music. Slowly, the creatures began to shrink, its shadowy from dissolving into the mist. Finally, with one last note, the creature disappeared completely. Bayo lowered its flute, breathing hard. The shadows around him seemed to pull back, giving peace to breathe. The night bird flew to his shoulder, chirping softly in his ear. Bayo smiled, feeling a little more confident. He had faced the first challenge and won, but he knew this was only the beginning. There were more dangers ahead, and he had to be ready. Bayo continued walking, his senses on high alert. The mist seemed to grow thicker the further he went, and the shadows became more relentless. They whispered to him, trying to trick him into giving up, but Bayo ignored them. He knew he couldn't trust anything in this place. After what felt like hours of walking, Bayo reached a clearing. In the center of the clearing was a large, twisted tree. Its branches were bare, and its roots dug deep into the ground. Bayo could feel a strange energy coming from the tree, something powerful and old. He approached the tree carefully, feeling the ground tremble beneath his feet. As he got closer, he saw something shining at the base of the tree. It was a small silver key, glowing faintly into the darkness. Bayo reached out to pick it up, but as soon as his fingers touched the key, the tree's roots sprang to life, wrapping around his arm and pulling him down. Bayo struggled to break free, but the roots were too strong. They tightened their grip, dragging him closer to the tree. Panic surged through him, but then he remembered his flute. With his free hand, he quickly brought the flute to his lips and played a sharp, high note. The roots flinched but didn't let go. Bayo played again, this time with more force, and the roots finally loosened their grip. Bayo pulled his arm free and stumbled back, holding the key tightly in his hands. The tree's roots retreated back into the ground, and the clearing became still again. Bayo looked at the key, wondering what it could open. He knew it was important, but he didn't know why. The night bird chirped, drawing Bayo's attention to path that had appeared on the other side of the clearing. It was narrow and winding, leading deeper into the darkness. Bayo knew he had to follow it, even though he didn't know where it would lead. As he walked down the path, Bayo felt a strange sense of déjà vu, as if he had been here before. The shadows grew thicker, and the air became colder. Bayo shivered, but he kept moving. The key in his hand seemed to pulse with energy, guiding him forward. Finally, the path opened up into another clearing, but this one was different. In the center was a small wooden door, standing alone with no walls or building around it. The door was old and warm, with strange symbols carved into the wood. Bayo knew this was the key was for. He approached the door, feeling a mix of excitement and fear. The night bird flew to his shoulder, chirping encouragingly. Bayo took a deep breath and inserted the key into the lock. It was perfectly, with a slight turn, the lock clicked open. Bayo hesitated a moment, then pushed the door open. A bright light spilled out, blinding him for a moment. When his eyes adjusted, he saw a large hallway stretching out in front of him, lined with torches and flickered with blue flames. The air was warmer here, and shadows seemed less threatening. Bayo stepped through the door, the night bird lying ahead to light the way. As he walked down the hallway, he could feel the presence of something powerful at the end, something that held the key to his escape. Hallways seemed to go on forever, but Bayo didn't stop. He had come too far to turn back now. Finally, he reached the end of the hallway and found himself standing in front of a large, ornate door. It was made of dark wood and covered in intricate carving of animals, plants and stars. Bayo could feel the door pulsing with energy, as if it were alive. He placed his hands on the door, feeling it warm. The carving seemed to sheet under his touch, and the door slowly began to open. A bright light spilled out, and Bayo had to shield his eyes again. When the light faded, he saw a vast, beautiful garden on the other side, filled with colorful flowers, tall trees, and sparkling streams. It was the most peaceful place Bayo had ever seen. But before he could step inside, a voice echoed through the hallway. It was the same voice he had heard in the mist, deep and rumbling. "You have done well to come this far, boy," the voice said. "But the final challenge awaits." Bayo's heart raced. He knew he couldn't back down now. With the night bird by his side, he stepped into the garden, ready to face whatever awaited him. The door closed behind him, and the garden became still. Bayo could feel the presence of something watching him, something powerful and ancient. He walked through the garden, marveling at its beauty. But he knew it was only a matter of time before the final challenge revealed itself. The night bird flew ahead, leading Bayo to a large, open area in the center of the garden. There, in the middle of the circle of flowers, stood a tall figure cloaked in shadows. The figure didn't move, but Bayo could feel its gaze on him. He knew this was the final test, but the last obstacle he had to overcome to escape the realm of the shadows. Taking a deep breath, Bayo stepped forward, ready to face whatever lay ahead. The figure slowly turned his face to him, and Bayo felt a chill run down his spine. The figure's face was hidden in darkness, but its eyes glowed with otherworldly light. "You have proven yourself worthy, boy," the figure said, its voice echoing through the garden. "But to leave this place, you must make a sacrifice." Bayo's heart sank. A sacrifice? He didn't know what the figure meant, but he knew it would be easy. The figure extended its hands, and a small glowing object appeared in its palm. It was a crystal, pulsing it with a soft blue light. Bayo could feel its power, its connection to the realm of the shadows. "The crystal holds the key to your escape," the figure said. "But to take it, you must give up something dear to you." Bayo's mind raced. What could he possibly give up? He had nothing with him except his flute and the night bird. The flute had saved him many times, and the night bird had been his guide. He couldn't list either of them. But the figure's eyes bore into him, waiting for his decision. Bayo knew he had to choose. He took a deep breath and looked at the night bird. It chirped softly, as if understanding what he was about to do. Bayo's heart ached, but he knew what he had to do. He reached out and touched the night bird gently. "Thank you," he whispered. The night bird chirped again, then flew up into the air, its glow growing brighter and brighter until it became a blinding light. Bayo had to shield his eyes, and when he looked again, the night bird was gone. The figure nodded, its eyes still glowing. "You have made your choice," it said. "Take the crystal and you will be free." Bayo's hands shook as if reached for the crystal. The moment he touched it, he felt a surge of energy, as if the entire realm of the shadow was flowing through him. The crystal's light grew brighter, and Bayo felt himself being pulled away, back to the world of the living. The last thing he saw before the light engulfed him was the figure, watching him with glowing eyes. Then everything went dark. When Bayo opened his eyes, he found himself back at the edge of his village, standing in the warm sunlight. The realm of shadows was gone, but the memories of his journey stayed with him. He clutched the crystal tightly, knowing it was a symbol of everything he had been through. As Bayo walked back to the village, he knew he would never forget the night bird's sacrifice. It was given to him the strength to face the darkness and find his way home. But even though he was free, Bayo knew his journey wasn't over. The realm of shadows still held many secrets, and someday he might have to face them again.